All right, so let's try a couple of these PSTs, perfect square trinomials. And I want you to write these three examples on the board, okay? Um, and before we even start working it, I need you to see where all that AC 2 times A blah, blah, blah comes from, okay? So, first thing I need you to recognize in number one, letter A, there's an invisible 1 right here. 1 is a perfect square, 36 is a perfect square, okay? Perfect square. My A is 1, my C is 6. But you was like, oh, wait a minute. I thought you said that it had to be a perfect square. Well, it is. 6 squared is 36. All right? Perfect square in the front, perfect square in the back. C squared is 36. C is 6. Okay, big difference. Now, 1 times 6, when you double that, is 12. That's how you get your middle term. Okay? That's how you get your middle term. Now look at letter B, and you should be writing this down because I'm going to ask you, what is your C? Blah, blah, blah. What is your what's your middle term? Is everything okay? All right? Especially in a minute when you get to letter C. All right. For letter B, perfect square in the front, perfect square in the back. If I ask you what is your A, hopefully you won't say 9. You will say 3. All right? If my A squared is 9, my A is 3. If my C squared is 4, my C is 2. 2 times 3 is 6. Double it, that's where you get your 12. All right? Perfect square in the front, perfect square in the back. Now, letter C is special. I put a asterisk beside it. Hopefully you can look at it and see, wait a minute, something's not right, but we're going to do something with letter C that I hope that you pay attention to because it's going to sneak up on you a little bit on the test. Okay, so let's go back to letter A. Let's do the X box. 1 times 36 gives me 36. My middle is 12. My middle term is 12. Let's do it. Factors of 36 that when I add them give me 12. So if you need to go over to the side here, you've got 1 and 36, 2 and 18, 3 and 12, 4 and 9, 6 and 6. If you're impressed with how fast I did that, that's because I know my multiplication tables. Okay, that's all it is. Now, if you were to add up every pair, which one would give you 12? Hopefully you'll realize it's this one. So if I multiply 6 times 6, I get the 36. If I add them, I get the 12, and now I'm ready to X box. Look for the pattern. Look for the pattern. First box gets the first term. Diagonals gets what we just put in the X. Bottom box gets the bottom term. Now we're ready to GCF. My first GCF is 1n. My next GCF is just 6. Now let's go across. My GCF is, again, 1n. Go across, the GCF is 6. Look for the pattern. Now you're ready to put it all together. And if you don't want to put the 1, you don't have to. My first pair of GCFs times my second pair of GCFs, we can write this as n plus 6 quantity squared. This is your answer. I'm multiplying by its to itself. That's where the squared comes from. Look for the pattern. Now let's do the same thing with letter B. Okay, I have 9 times 4 is 36. I need to know what can I get to get a negative 12. All right, I think it's a negative 12. So here we go. 36, and this gives me a negative 12. So I need to think, what are my options here to get a negative 12 as my B term? So I go back over here and I'm looking and I'm trying to figure out why I don't see what the 36 and the negative 12 factors of 36 that when I add them give me a negative 12. What did I do wrong? Nothing. Here goes. Watch this. Still going to be the 6's, but instead of them being positive, they're both going to be negative. Yes, I like that. All right. Negative 6 times negative 6 gives you positive 36. When you add them, gives you negative 12. Watch that. Now we're ready for the X box. Okay, first box, first term. Diagonal, what we just added to the x. Bottom term goes in the bottom box. Now let's get those GCFs. The GCF between 9 and 6 is 3. Between x squared and x is x. Go to the next column. This is a negative, so my GCF will be negative. The GCF between 6 and 4 is 2. Right? Now let's go across. Look for the pattern. GCF is 9 and 6, which is 3x. Negative 6 and 4 is negative 2. When you rewrite, you see how it's multiplied to itself? You rewrite it as 3x minus 2 quantity squared. Now I've really gone over. This is almost 6 minutes. Make sure you know what you're doing.